The video you're about to watch was banned by YouTube. Let me explain. So last month, I released a video exposing Christian YouTuber Brandon McGuire from Daily Dose of Wisdom for scamming his fans. See, Brandon is trying to recruit his viewers into a controversial company called Melaleuca, also known as the Costco from hell. In my video, I included footage from a public Zoom meeting in which Brandon and 3 other Melaleuca reps tried to pitch the company to Brandon's viewers. Apparently, Brandon and his colleagues weren't too happy that I ripped them to shreds for what they were doing. The video was live for just 2 days before I received an email from YouTube saying that someone filed a privacy complaint against my video. YouTube didn't say who filed the complaint, but I mean, it's not hard to guess. Only 4 people in the world wouldn't want my video out there: Brandon or one of the 3 Melaleuca reps. Also, they timestamped every time I showed the Zoom meeting in my video to justify the privacy violation. I wasn't surprised this happened because Melaleuca and its reps are notoriously litigious and routinely weaponize the legal system to silence critics. However, I don't think that they actually have a leg to stand on, given that Brandon had made the Zoom meeting public by linking to it in one of his own videos. Anyone could join. How are you going to complain about someone violating your privacy when you purposely publicize this meeting to hundreds of thousands of people? Someone in my comment section actually pointed it out that it seems like they're having their cake and eating it too. It seems like they want this Zoom meeting to be public to as many people as possible so they can as many people as possible. But then when they get any criticism, suddenly it's violating their privacy or whatever. I appealed my case to YouTube and even cited laws supporting it, but unfortunately, they did take down my video. I think it's unlikely that an actual person reviewed my appeal, which probably contributed to this result. But I'm not going to let Brandon get away with this. If Brandon and his slimy friends don't want their faces shown, fine. I won't show their faces. What I will do, however, is use artist renderings of Brandon and the other Melaleuca reps that my wonderful viewers have so graciously provided. You guys really pulled through on this for me, and I really can't thank you enough. Also, there's a silver lining to this entire situation. I forgot to mention in my original video that Jamie, one of the scammers, pressured those on food stamps to join the company during the meeting. Someone from the audience asked if Melaleuca accepts snaps, benefits, or food stamps, and Jamie responded, "There was a time in my life when I actually had to be on a program like that because I lost my income. The store," meaning Melaleuca, "doesn't offer that though, but I still shopped at Melaleuca during that time." He went on to say that even if you're on food stamps, you should still shop from Melaleuca because they sell essential home items and that these are things that you'd be buying anyway. In reality, the only essential items that Melaleuca sells are soaps, like hand soap and laundry detergent, and toothpaste. Everything else they sell, in my opinion, is pretty non-essential. Things like beauty products, essential oils, and supplements. Also, Melaleuca requires customers to purchase $100 worth of products every month. I mean, who is spending that much monthly on toothpaste and laundry detergent? Jamie also said that if you're considering joining but are in a challenging financial position, that's okay because he and the other scammers have prayed you in. Basically, he's saying, well, God will figure it out. Isn't that convenient? All right, so without further ado, let's jump into my original video. If you were lucky enough to watch it before YouTube took it down, I'd ask you that you allow this video to play in full again. Watch time plays a huge factor in a video's reach, and I'd really love for the algorithm to not kill this video because Brandon and his friends decided to play dirty. Also, if Brandon or any of his other fellow scammers are watching this video, I strongly advise you to refrain from weaponizing YouTube's legal systems again against this video. I will just make another video. Have you guys not heard of the Streisand effect? Like, you're making things way worse for yourselves. I don't know why you're doing this. All right, let's jump in.
I just pray that through this meeting and through this presentation of information, that for those who this is a good fit for, that you'll just make that clear. And I pray that it would be a blessing to some, that it would be an answer to prayer to some. It's not, is it technically not an employment opportunity? Is that the wrong way to say it? It's like a, I don't know. I'll let them explain it, but there's a way that y'all can participate. Those who are interested to play a role in this project, so that you benefit and I'm sitting here going like, yay, it's a win-win.
Melaleuca is the manufacturer. Now, some of you guys may have shopped with Melaleuca in the past or heard of them. They've been around 40 years. Their specialty is in manufacturing the sorts of things that we all buy and run out of our whole lives.
And so he's literally going to be, feeding you referrals that you can call and onboard people.
If a video gets a bunch of views on YouTube, you get a bunch of people who are interested, who are coming to you. So it's like a massive step up that I hope for those who this is a good fit for will be like a really big blessing to you, where there could be just a big influx of interested people who are like, I want to do that.
Brandon has created, he's adding value to the world. As like his channel adds real value. He deserves the ability to earn income for the work and the effort and the value that he's providing to the world. He deserves that. He could go do brand deals whenever he wants, but with this specifically, this is a community project where everybody has the ability to participate and earn income if you choose to be on the crew. We are ghosts on social media, okay? We're not trying to do attraction marketing or anything. That is the value of being partnered with Brandon, where he has a real social media influence where I don't.
Taylor, I see your question in the staging area about Brandon's earnings. Our hope is that we can kind of rally around him and have this be a really meaningful stream of income every month to support his growing family and the work that he's doing out on YouTube.
So imagine scrolling through your YouTube subscriptions and seeing that your favorite Christian YouTuber just dropped a video titled, I Need Help on a Project. You click on the video and the YouTuber starts talking about how Christians must make better choices when living out their faith, especially regarding what companies they support. He goes on to say that he's starting a new project to help Christians avoid supporting large corporations supposedly misaligned with Christian values. He says he's looking for viewers to get involved and that the project could benefit those who join financially. The actual details of the project are left entirely vague, but the overall message is clear. Getting involved is not only a smart financial move, but is also the Christian thing to do. You start to brainstorm as to what the project entails. Is he creating an app that helps users find Christian-owned businesses in their area? And is he looking for app developers? Is he starting a ministry that helps those in need access essential home items like soap or toothpaste that don't come from mega corporations? You think to yourself, it has to be something along those lines, since he made a big deal about the project aligning with Christian values. Nevertheless, he said that there's going to be a Zoom meeting where he'll give more details, so you decide to find out then what the project is. On the day of the meeting, you hop on Zoom and find yourself in a virtual room with dozens of other fans. You're excited to see your favorite YouTuber in semi-real life and are happy to help however you can. He opens the meeting in prayer and gives a little spiel about how excited he is to see some of his viewers face to face, but then some other people you've never seen before quickly take over the meeting. They start talking about how hard COVID was for small businesses and how we as Christians shouldn't fund big companies like Walmart or Target. After being on the call for over 22 minutes, they finally reveal that they work for a company called Melaleuca. You sink into your chair as the realization hits you. Your favorite YouTuber has trapped you in what appears to be a multi-level marketing sales pitch. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and on this channel we talk about life and relationships after leaving the church and do some commentary on the goings-on in evangelical Christianity. I have to say, I've been analyzing and critiquing evangelical content for a few years now, and this is by far the most disgusting thing I've ever seen from a Christian content creator. Brandon, if you're watching this video, you should be ashamed. If I believed in the concept of hell, I'd think that there's a special place amongst the flames just for you. Now, if you want to avoid the torment of the internet's proverbial flames, I think the sponsor of today's video, CyberGhost, can help you out. CyberGhost is a VPN service that helps keep you safe online and avoid hackers and malicious websites while surfing the web. By using CyberGhost, all of your internet's traffic routes through a secure tunnel where your IP address stays hidden and all of your data is completely encrypted. CyberGhost also has a strict no logs policy, so not even CyberGhost themselves can access your online activity. These days, it's really good to know that all of your activity is completely private. If you're interested in accessing content that's currently blocked in your area, CyberGhost can help you out there too. You can access the full potential of over 40 streaming services, including platforms like Netflix and Disney+. It's as easy as a few clicks, and as someone who often watches obscure movies and documentaries, during the research process of my videos, I actually find CyberGhost to be a great tool at my disposal. What's also amazing about CyberGhost is that it works on all devices and operating systems, and you can protect up to 7 devices at once. Honestly, in our household, we don't even own 7 devices, so I think this would be a great deal for protecting entire families and even a few friends, all with one CyberGhost subscription. Okay, so here's what's up. CyberGhost is offering an exclusive deal for my viewers. If you click on my link down in the description, you'll get an 84% discount and 4 months of CyberGhost entirely free. And since they have a 40-day money-back guarantee and access to 24/7 customer support, everything is risk-free to you. With over 38 million users worldwide, CyberGhost is the most recommended VPN provider on the market, and they have a near-perfect score on Trustpilot. I really want you guys to stay safe and secure while browsing the web, and I want you to avoid encounters with scammers like certain Christian influencers. So click the link below to get your discount and 4 months free. All right, thank you so much, CyberGhost. Now back to the video. So a few days ago, a viewer of my channel sent me an email. She said, "I wanted to share a disturbing trend in the Christian space I hope doesn't catch wind." She informed me that, in her opinion, several Christian YouTubers, including Brandon McGuire of Daily Dose of Wisdom, are scamming their fans by recruiting them into Melaleuca under the guise of needing help with something. She sent me the link to Brandon's now unlisted video titled "I Need Help on a Project" and said that she had attended one of his Zoom meetings. Being a stay-at-home mom, she said, "I happily went to the meeting thinking I'd be glorifying God and helping this movement that would align with my Christian values." After realizing what the meeting was actually about, she started taking photos and videos to pass on to creators like me to expose what Brandon and his colleagues are doing. She also told me that they're having another Zoom meeting later in the week and sent me the link. A huge thank you goes to this viewer because what Brandon's doing might have flown under the radar without her raising the red flag. So seriously, a big thank you. Needless to say, I did end up infiltrating this Zoom meeting, and I'll let you all know how that went later in the video. For now, I'll just say that the meeting ended up being 2 hours long, and I actually ripped into a couple of Melaleuca reps via direct messages, and I left the meeting with like a completely blistering headache. Brandon and his channel Daily Dose of Wisdom, which has almost 1 million subscribers, might ring a bell if you're a fan of my husband's work. In a video he made late last year, Drew exposed Daily Dose of Wisdom and a few other Christian channels for being content farmers.
What's the easiest way to generate content? don't. You just take other people's content and maybe alter it a little bit if you absolutely have to. Oxford mathematician destroys atheism. 15-minute brilliancy. 7.1 million views. Atheist asks tough questions. Epic response. Debate. 1.8 million views. Something that Brandon likes to do, which I guess counts as commentary, is this. I quite enjoy it.
Of high-powered scientists utter it.
That might be worth rewinding in case you missed it the first time. That is such a good point.
Most of these creators like to front load their video with others' content and put their commentary at the very end, when most people have probably clicked off already. Here's a comment on one of Daily Dose of Wisdom's most popular videos. I love your style of commentary. You allow the video to play without too much or any interruption to give us viewers time to grasp the context, and then you provide final comments afterward to wrap it up cohesively. Daily Dose of Wisdom has hearted this. If you look at the conversation beneath this comment, you see people saying that it seems lazy, and this person saying, in quotes, without too much interruption. Wow. Wow. Which is essentially a summary of what they have just watched Daily Dose of Wisdom do.
Content farmers often take content made by other people and film themselves reacting to it, but they provide so little commentary that it stretches the concept of fair use to its absolute limit. It's an easy way to upload videos quickly, and since YouTube cares about quantity over quality, the algorithm often favors channels that can produce high volumes of content. This is partly why channels like Daily Dose of Wisdom are so successful. So was I surprised that the guy content farming was also trying to suck his fans into what looks to be an MLM scam?
Is the elephant heavy?
No, I wasn't. I was surprised, however, at just how brazen it all was. I struggle to understand how Brandon thought no one in his audience would catch on to this. I mean, it screams scam, in my opinion. So what exactly is Melaleuca? Well, Melaleuca is a direct sales company that sells personal care products and home products like soaps, skincare, supplements, and essential oils. Some of their reps refer to it as the Patriot Wellness Store. I'm not joking. Since Melaleuca's whole gimmick is that they're not like the mega corporations like Target or Walmart that support evil and satanic agendas like women's reproductive health care and the LGBTQ plus community, because having basic human empathy is apparently the worst thing ever. On the other hand, anti-multi-level marketing creators call it Costco from hell, since Melaleuca claims it operates like an online Costco or Sam's Club where members pay a yearly fee for access to bulk items. Reps claim their products are cheaper than these well-established wholesale suppliers. However, internet sleuths have price compared between Melaleuca and Costco and have determined that this is not actually the case. Plus, Melaleuca members must purchase 35 points worth of products, which is about $75 to $100 monthly to keep their membership active. I'm pretty sure a Costco membership is only like $100 a year. I mean, there's not like a monthly requirement of how much products you have to buy from Costco, as far as I understand. Despite being a member of the Direct Selling Association, which is a lobbying organization representing largely multi-level marketing or MLM companies, Melaleuca and its founder, Frank Vandersloot, swear that Melaleuca isn't an MLM. Many Melaleuca reps even take great offense to MLM allegations. The MLM industry, if you guys aren't aware, carries a bad reputation since these companies use grandiose promises of financial freedom to recruit, despite the fact that most MLM participants don't make money or even lose money. When I pressed the reps in Brandon's Zoom call about their obvious attempt to recruit us into the company and how this was indicative of an MLM operation, they sent me a 16-page document authored by Melaleuca detailing why they aren't an MLM. The document went into detail about state law, saying that in Idaho, where Melaleuca is headquartered, the definition of an MLM doesn't apply to them. The following is an excerpt from that document. Melaleuca does not have a network of independent agents who buy products and then sell or distribute them to consumers. All consumers purchase Melaleuca products directly from Melaleuca. Melaleuca marketing executives do not sell products on different levels of distribution, and pricing of Melaleuca products does not change based on position. That being said, many people disagree with Melaleuca's claim that they're not an MLM. Sarah Jean, an anti-MLM content creator who actually used to be a rep for Melaleuca, believes the company operates using a model eerily similar to MLM.
They're like, you're literally an MLM. And they're like, no, we're not. You are. Okay. We already went over it in a previous video. It's basically going over the differences and similarities from traditional MLMs to Melaleuca. And it's honestly so parallel, you can't tell the difference. Melaleuca reps do not make a commission off of someone who is joining the business, but they label every single executive as a customer. So when you bring in a customer and they buy a new product pack, which is usually what you want to set up a new business builder with, they do make commission off of that. So traditionally, it costs $1 or $19 to join. You do not make commission off of that. But if I am bringing somebody in who wants to work the business, I recommend a product pack to them. And we've already gone over this in my other Melaleuca video. I am going to make a higher commission off of that because a product pack goes from $99 to $500 as opposed to just them ordering 35 points. So no, they don't make a commission bringing somebody in to work the business, but every single business builder is considered a customer. So when you bring a customer in and they buy a product pack, you do make commission off of that.
Behind MLM, which is a website dedicated to MLM news and company information, covered Melaleuca in an article in 2019 and concluded that the company is operating an MLM model. In 2024, after Melaleuca sued Hannah Alonso, an anti-MLM creator who published a since unlisted expose on the company, Behind MLM reiterated their opinion that Melaleuca is an MLM. It absolutely was in 2019 and absolutely is in 2024. Kevin Thompson, a lawyer representing MLM companies, even publicly addressed Melaleuca's claim that they're not an MLM.
Here's some basic reasons why I would put Melaleuca in the MLM category. Number one, they're part of the DSA, which is an association that I'm a member of. They're a member of the Direct Sales Association, which is a trade association that largely represents MLMs, most notably Amway, Herbalife, Avon, Mary Kay, and a whole Shackley, and a whole bunch of other companies. And that trade association is primarily designed to protect the MLM industry. That's obvious. That was easy. Some of the early attorneys with Vandersloot in the early 90s were Kevin Grimes and Spencer Reese. Those guys went on to become MLM attorneys. It wasn't a coincidence. They were familiar with MLM law because of their association with Melaleuca. Number three, they operate a matrix pay plan. And in my opinion, that makes them an MLM. Now, the FTC in a case has defined a multi-level marketing program as the program where people pay money to join in exchange for the right to recruit other participants. In Melaleuca, you can recruit participants or have additional participants placed underneath you, right? Basically, you can create a genealogy. In Melaleuca, you can do that. You can also sell goods or services, right? So I think the second element's also met with Melaleuca. You can join their business, recruit people, and you can sell their products. And number three, you can receive commissions, provided that the payments come from basically product sales. Another reason is that Melaleuca on occasion sues distributors or they sue companies. And largely because when distributors leave Melaleuca, they join a competing company like Max International. There's a case out there, 2010, I think, where Melaleuca actually won a temporary restraining order against Max International because Max was considered a competing business. Why are they a competing business? Because Max International is a multi-level marketing company and they compete directly with Melaleuca. Just more kind of obvious dots why Melaleuca is a network marketing company.
I mean, if an actual MLM lawyer calls your company an MLM, I don't really know if you have a leg to stand on. Just saying. In my opinion, Melaleuca's claim that they're not an MLM is based entirely on semantics. All marketing executives or those working the business are automatically labeled as customers, which I believe helps the company maintain the illusion that actual customers are buying their products. Melaleuca also insists that since there's no inventory loading and customers must purchase directly from the company, this differentiates them from the MLM industry. I don't really buy this since there are MLM companies that operate this way. I mean, a lot of companies don't require their distributors to actually purchase product to then resell. I mean, in this day and age, a lot of that is done online. So how are they getting away with claiming they're not an MLM? Well, Melaleuca's founder, Frank Vandersloot, just happens to be a billionaire. In 2017, Forbes even listed Vandersloot as the wealthiest individual in Idaho and the 302nd most wealthy in the United States. Many people speculate that Vandersloot was able to pull some strings to get his company delisted as an MLM because of his wealth and power. He's also notoriously litigious, going after anyone who criticizes his companies, like Hannah Alonso. So the following statement is for you, Scammer Sloot. I'm legally obligated to say that Melaleuca isn't an MLM or a scam. But to borrow a phrase from evangelicalism, I really encourage my viewers to use discernment when it comes to this company. Okay, so I know you're all wondering what happened during the Zoom meeting, so let me give you the tea. As I said at the beginning of this video, the Melaleuca reps didn't reveal the company's name until about 22 minutes into the call. Even then, they referred to Melaleuca as their manufacturer. I think that this was a strategic attempt to make their venture seem more legitimate, as if they're somehow managing Melaleuca from above rather than the other way around, as if they're simply sourcing products from a manufacturer rather than working as a rep for the company itself.
Melaleuca is the manufacturer. Now, some of you guys may have shopped with Melaleuca in the past or heard of them. They've been around 40 years. Their specialty is in manufacturing the sorts of things that we all buy and run out of our whole lives.
Brandon opened the call with a brief prayer and said that he was excited about this project, which, I mean, of course you are. You're looking to make a bunch of money from this, so of course you're excited. But other than that, like, he didn't say much during the 2-hour call, and he actually even jumped off the call before the hosts ended it.
Thank you guys for being here. I know it's a Saturday, and at least my time it's in the afternoon, and there's like a bunch of other things we could all be doing. So I appreciate you guys, being willing to hear this out and see if it's a good fit for you, basically. So let me just pray just to start us off here. Dear Lord, I just thank you for this day. I thank you for this this lovely Saturday, and I just pray that through this meeting and through this presentation of information that for those who this is a good fit for, that you'll just make that clear. And I pray that it would be a blessing to some, that it would be an answer to prayer to some. And if that's not for everybody, that's totally fine too. But I just ask that your will would be done through this, that we would be able to achieve some good through this effort, through this project, and that you would just connect the right people to it, and that you would steer the ship in the direction that it should go. We ask this in Christ's name, and I just pray that for each person here, whether it is or is not a good fit for them, that you will just bless each person here, Lord, that you will I don't always get a chance to connect with people in the audience as much, so I just want to just ask, Lord Jesus, that you would whether this is or is not the direct answer to a prayer that might be there, that you would work your will in each person's life who is here, Lord, according to your perfect will. And so I pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Invoking Christ's name while it looks like you're actively trying to scam your fans has got to be a form of blasphemy, right? Also, Brandon, listen to me. If you're trying to connect with your audience, sitting on a Zoom call where you just stare into the camera for 95% of the time while randos pitch their slimy business to your fans is an odd way to go about it. The hosts constantly brought up the Christian faith during the meeting. The main presenter, Christian, even started the meeting by discussing how he had allegedly been an agnostic for over 10 years.
All right, I'm happy to be here, excited to be here. I was an agnostic for 12 years. I spent a lot of years trying to figure out, am I atheist? I don't know what I am. I spent a lot of years doing that, and if you ask my wife, what did I spend a lot of time doing? I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching debates and videos exactly like what you've been producing and putting out there, putting together and putting out there, Brandon. So really appreciative of the work you do. It does make a big difference. Happy to report, came to faith and belief January 20th, 2020. So there's a whole different story. Maybe someday we can do a video, you and I, Brandon.
It's always the converts. It's always the converts. How is Christianity related to this sales pitch? Well, first of all, Brandon is a Christian YouTuber whose channel is primarily about Christian apologetics. His audience is mostly Christian, so emphasizing this makes perfect sense as a slimy sales tactic. Secondly, as I said before, Melaleuca's whole gimmick is that they're a faith-based alternative to the mega corporations that fund causes supposedly misaligned with Christian values. Shopping at Melaleuca, they say, is the Christian way to shop. One of the most egregious and frankly disgusting things I heard during the call was Christian bragging about how Melaleuca has saved souls and converted people to Christianity.
When we launched this with another fellow Christian YouTuber, the crew, we didn't tell anybody to do this. The crew, as they were like onboarding shoppers, started praying with the audience. People were getting saved from the audience. And I can't tell you how we have pages and pages of messages of people that are working that project that say, I am so fulfilled right now. Like, I just feel so fulfilled. Whether the person shopped or not, it's irrelevant because this is more than just money, you know? And it's really cool. Like, there's a prayer warriors group. There's a lot of stuff. So
Like, sure, Christian, that totally happened. You're totally not making that up. Despite their insistence that Melaleuca isn't an MLM, Christian and his other washed up, used car salesman-esque sales reps, Gabby and Jamie, weren't just looking for us to shop from Melaleuca. They explained that they wanted us to do shopper onboarding and that this program is called Switch Away. In other words, they were trying to recruit us into the business.
We need help we need assistance for people to make the switch, to switch where they shop. Basically, my friends and I today are going to show you how we do shopper onboarding. And this is the crossroads we're at right now. Brandon is putting this message out to the entire audience. Here come all the people wanting to make the switch. The purpose of the Zoom is to find the worker crew. I kind of picture it, it's crude, I know, but I picture it like this, like you guys kind of form a line in between the big audience and Brandon, and your kind of responsibility or job is twofold. Number one, protect Brandon. Nobody gets through. We can't have 10,000 people getting Brandon's cell phone number. He'll never get anything done. So we got to run interference. We got to be gatekeepers. Nobody can get through. The other part is my friends and I can teach you how to do this shopper onboarding process, and the manufacturer will pay you for every shopper that you onboard. We ran this model for the very first time 4 years ago. We've run it about 100 times since. And every time this happens, the group of people who helps kind of behind the scenes does really well. It's a great part or full-time money.
To break this all down, Brandon will continue to underhandedly shout out Melaleuca in videos, and any suckers he gets, he'll refer to us for shopper onboarding. If you're unfamiliar with the MLM model, this is called creating a downline and is one of the main traits of an MLM company. Downlines are what give these companies their infamous upside down funnel business structure. Again, legally, I'm not saying Melaleuca is an MLM, but their structure resembles MLM. To give those of us on the call the impression that this was a smart financial move, Christian pulled up a select few success stories of those he's worked with.
Tons of families have found meaningful part or full-time work with projects like this over the years. So let's see, who is this? Gary? Yeah, so Gary helped 8 people make the switch and picked up about $700 his first month. He wanted to do bigger, faster stuff. He ended up bringing some friends, at least one friend, who helped, also started to help onboarding shoppers. And you can kind of see the impact here. I'll show you both parts. So he went from 8 to 25, so 17 more shoppers onboarded. And look over here at the total impact. He and his friend helping to onboard shoppers were responsible for 46 households making the switch that month, or cumulatively up to that month in those first 2 months. Yeah, and check that out. Nice chunky payday, $4,600. Most of us, I think that would make a pretty big dent.
Don't be fooled. We'll get to this later in the video, but most of those involved in Melaleuca don't make this kind of money. Christian is pulling a classic move we see often in the MLM world of showing potential recruits isolated examples of people who made significant money. But these people are the exception and not the rule. Later during the call, they said there was a Telegram chat we could join if we had any questions, which I, of course, joined. Gabby headed up the chat, so I texted her directly over Telegram. I tried to get some clarifying information, so I asked her, "Isn't Brandon my project manager?" She said, "Yes, I am his project manager." So if I joined, Brandon would be my upline. Gabby is Brandon's upline, and I assume that Christian and Jamie are Gabby's upline. Again, creating this type of downline structure is very MLM-ish, in my opinion. I then asked, so Brandon will give us his viewers who are interested to onboard. She replied, yes, you will have access to the leads he creates with his channel. When I asked her about income potential, she said, when you enroll 8 shoppers, you normally earn $500 to $700. This month, you were earned $1,000 guarantee. If you did it this month, he would earn a $300 bonus. Okay, so simply by vaguely shouting out this business venture in videos, Brandon would make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from his downline who do the actual work of onboarding shoppers. This is slimy, this is disgusting, and this seems really scammy to me. And you know, the idea that they need assistance to do the shopper onboarding doesn't make any sense in the first place. You can go to Melaleuca's website right now and sign up. You don't need to onboard through Christian's switch-away program. Of course, in my opinion, Christian, Jamie, Gabby, and Brandon's intention isn't really to onboard shoppers, but to build a downline of people working the business. If you've watched any anti-MLM content, you'll know that in the MLM world, recruiting is where the real money is made. At this point, I was curious how much Brandon had already made from this venture, so I asked Gabby. She was incredibly reluctant to give me any actual numbers. I remained persistent, asking her repeatedly until she eventually told me, sorry, I'm on the phone with someone helping them. The problem with this answer was I could see her on Zoom. She wasn't looking at her phone. Gabby, you little rascal, you thought you could get me off your back by telling a little lie? Well, surprise, girly pop, your slimy sales tactics are now being exposed on the internet for thousands of people to see. I, at this point, decided to give up on Gabby, and I sent Jamie a direct message via Zoom asking how much Brandon is making. This was his response. I encourage you guys to watch the screen because I start typing out responses to him as he's speaking.
I got some more stuff on here too. So someone's asking about like income and what can they expect and what is possible, and like we had mentioned earlier, we all get paid on the 12th, and so actually before we kicked this off, we had a little celebration where we all opened up our paydays and we celebrated some people that had their, referred to shoppers and they got paid $44. And we celebrated some people today, that have 5-digit paydays and it didn't start with a 1. It was a different number in front of it. Again, we're doing large-scale customer acquisition, is what we're doing, and there's a lot of money in the consumer goods market. Just think about all the money that is spent on advertising and celebrity endorsements. They're not doing any of that. They're paying us little guys to do the onboarding and take care of all that. So I think what would be probably you know better to be looking at here is what do you need, and then how do we create a path to victory to help you do that to where you can live. Um, And, my kids were really small when I started doing this. I see a little, I see Zach's got a little in there. And this gave me the flexibility to like really do something. Um, and I'm also getting a couple questions. So someone said, hey, I'm a little older. I was kind of scared away from Amway. Is it different than that? And here's a couple things. So there are the world has really changed significantly. And there's tons of affiliate programs, and you see influencers all the time that promote their link and they get affiliate and referral money, for that. Melaleuca, the manufacturer, they don't hurt anybody. This is not like Amway. I don't know a lot about Amway specifically, but I do know that I don't think most of their products are made in North America. Their prices are overpriced. They're really high priced in order to pay people. That's not what you get here. There's a lot. I don't know if you know what MLMs are. There's a lot of them out there, and people get hurt from them. I'm not saying there can't be any benefits from them at all, but Melaleuca hates MLM because a lot of people get hurt. You are not a rep. You're not a distributor. You're not reselling product. We're just buying product for ourselves. If you care to see it, they have a 16-page document about how we're not MLM. Now, you can't say that we're not like direct sales or direct to consumer. But again, we're doing this really differently and safely, and nobody gets hurt in the process. No one's budget's getting messed up at all.
So instead of being upfront about how much Brandon is profiting from this, Jamie just vaguely suggests that I could make a lot of money if I joined Brandon's team. I don't know why they were so reluctant to talk about this, since earlier in the call, they had gone over in detail the income of dozens of other reps, some of which were from their first month or so. So why beat around the bush when it comes to Brandon? I mean, really, like, you showed the income of other reps before, like literally on the call. You couldn't just show me Brandon's? If those incomes were actually real. Also, did you notice him claiming that this isn't MLM because we're just buying products for ourselves? Jamie, do you think I was born yesterday? I'm literally sitting here on a call where you're trying to recruit me to sell products to other people. You can deny this and say, no, you just be referring people to the company and they'd buy products through the company. You can say this until you're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, your defense against MLM allegations is simply a game of semantics, in my opinion. At this point, I was beyond fed up. I messaged Jamie again saying, recruiting is part of the deal, right? Brandon is literally trying to recruit right now. This was his answer.
Yeah, I want to be really clear here too. Like, we're not trying to recruit everybody. We're not talking to people about making money, everybody. In fact, Brandon's not going to talk about making money at all on his channel ever again. This is just to put the crew in place, and then every conversation is shopper onboarding. Now, it does happen where people run through and they onboard and they go, this is cool. Can I refer people too? And yeah, you can develop a little crew for yourself. But over, I think it's 82% of all people that shop with Melaleuca, they're just shoppers. They don't even know anything about earning income. They don't even know about like the affiliate side at all.
Really, Jamie? Are we just that special that we get the opportunity to do the business when others don't? Please, give me a break. I'm sure you're telling the next group of people the exact same thing. Besides, the need for assistance to onboard shoppers doesn't make sense when anyone could go to Melaleuca's website and sign up. Like, it's 2025. We have the technology that makes it possible to join these types of things online on your own. You don't need someone holding your hand. Like, how does anyone buy this? Like, it's such bullshit. And if you need someone to talk about the supposed upsides of shopping with Melaleuca to a larger audience, why doesn't Brandon just make a video about Melaleuca instead of making these vague, I need help with something videos? Oh, right. That would defeat the purpose if what you're actually trying to do is build a downline. I feel like I'm so sassy in this video, but like, honestly, this shit has me pissed off. While it's true that Melaleuca classifies 82% of their participants as strictly customers, this, from what I can tell, is calculated based on how many people a participant has successfully referred to the company. If they've successfully referred at least one person, they're considered a marketing executive. But I mean, just because someone hasn't successfully referred anyone doesn't mean they're not trying to refer anyone. He's pulling this claim that none of these people are trying to do the business and that none of them even know about the affiliate side of the business, like, completely out of the ether. While we're on the subject of Melaleuca's income disclosure, I do want to note that only 10% of Melaleuca's total participants are considered business builders, meaning they've successfully referred at least 8 customers. And of that 10%, less than 3.6% are averaging a livable income. I can't do the math. Maybe someone in the comments can help me out here, but this means that less than a fraction of all Melaleuca participants are making a livable income. Interestingly and completely unrelated, but did you know that studies were actually done on the MLM industry, which concluded that over 99% of MLM participants don't make any money or actually lose money? Jamie, remind me again how, as Brandon's helpers, this is such a great income opportunity for me. Like, please be so for real. You guys are so ridiculous. So needless to say, I left this call with a pounding headache. Before jumping off though, I just had to let these people know what I thought of them. I said, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I also sent a similar message to Gabby over Telegram, but I think I added a couple of other things to that too. Saying this probably didn't help, but it did make me feel better in the moment. Okay, so this last part of the video is for Brandon from Daily Dose of Wisdom. Brandon, what you're doing is twisted. While they might claim that they're not one of those MLM companies, their operation virtually mirrors that of any MLM company, in my opinion. Take it from someone who spent the first couple of years of their channel's existence debunking claims from the MLM world. They're trying to cash in on your audience, and the worst part is you're not only letting them, but you're also joining in on the cash grab. What you're doing is using the God you claim to believe in to manipulate your viewers into giving you more money. This is disgusting. I now ask you, are those who support women's reproductive health care or the LGBTQ plus community really the evil ones here? Or is it the ones who speak Christ's name out one side of their mouth while scamming their supporters out the other? You guys, don't forget to check out CyberGhost and use the link down in the description to get 82% off CyberGhost and 4 months free. This is seriously a good deal. Be sure to check it out. Thank you guys for watching, and a huge thank you to my patrons who helped make this video possible. And also a huge thank you to everyone that sent in art. It really helped me out a lot with this video, and some of them were just like super amazing. If you liked this video, please be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. If you'd like to follow me on social media, my Instagram is Taylor_the_antibot. And if you'd like to consider supporting this channel financially, a link to my Patreon will be down in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. Say bye.